And then, right, I was thinking about that, right, and I was walking down the street in London with Suzanne. Saw a little homeless. Well, I didn't see the homeless bloke, right. I saw a leg, right, sticking out of a doorway. I thought, here we go, right. Walked past it, right. You're not going to believe this.
Go on.
Homeless.
Yeah.
Chinese fella. I've never seen one of them. No, I'm not having a go, right? But have you ever seen? Do you know what I mean? That was a shock.
I really don't think I have. I think he's got me there. I hate to say it, but I must say I can't remember ever seeing a homeless Chinese person. No.
No, I suppose you're right. Thinking about it.
Weird, isn't it?
I
Actually, I was walked past and I said to Suzanne, "Did you see that?" She went, "What?" I said, "Just look back there." She said, "What?" I said, "That homeless fella. Look back at him." She said, "What?" I said, "He's Chinese." And she said, "Yeah, good point."
Good point. Of course she did.
She said that to shut you up.
She didn't want to get into a conversation with you. Oh,
and what's
God.
your point, really? What exactly is your point? You're
It's just
perplexed
that
'cause you've never
we
seen
were
it.
chatting about homeless and that, and I saw that, and I just thought, I just found it a bit odd.
Right. Well, if you are perhaps based in America or Australia, Canada, have you ever seen a Chinese homeless person? This doesn't count to any listeners in China. But anywhere else, have you ever seen a Chinese homeless person? Podcast at rickygervais.com. If you have, maybe you've got a picture you can send us as well. But while I was at my parents' house, they often, they keep clippings of things, if we've been mentioned in the papers, they like to keep a record of them and stuff, because I like to show it to my grandparents, and keep fully abreast of things. And I've managed to find a couple of them. This was I don't know if you've heard this, Karl. It's, for people who don't realise, Karl was making a couple of little 3-minute TV projects recently that were on Channel 4. And in the Sunday Times, someone's written a letter about Karl to the Sunday Times.
Wow.
They can send in comments and views on things they've seen, read, heard.
Oh, excellent.
And this is what someone wrote to the Sunday Times. Who is Karl Pilkington? And why have I just wasted 5 minutes of my life listening to some of his cretinous thoughts on Channel 4? He asked, why are there so many dinosaurs on display in museums? Quotes, couldn't they just choose the best one and just show that? He summed it all up by deciding that we know too much. Somebody clearly doesn't know enough to know that this is a complete waste of airtime, showing no wit, intellect or creativity. That's from Wendy Robinson in Berkshire.
You can't have your critics. You know what I mean?
You've got to have your critics.
Of course you have. If everybody liked what you did, then you're not doing the right thing.
She wasted 5 minutes, and they were 3-minute wonders, so it must have felt...
Yeah.
2/3 as long again.
But think how angry she must have been to have bothered writing this letter to the Sunday Times.
Well, that's good.
I mean,
though.
you
It's made me
really
do
must
something.
have...
It's all about getting people thinking. That's what I always say to you. As long as I'm getting people thinking about what I've said. She remembered what I said.
But what views did you put out in these short films which you feel people perhaps should be talking about, discussing, digesting, thinking about?
Just stuff that was in my head that day when I was filming them.
Yeah.
Is it in your head now?
Some of it is. Now you've remembered me what I said.
Now you what?
Now you've sort of told me what I said in that one. Yeah, I remember saying that.
Yeah.
And I stick by it.
Remember him some other stuff?
Yeah.
I'll tell you now, right? This, if I don't know if Wendy's, listen to this. But,
Almost certainly not.
But listen, right? I was saying about the museums, right, and how they're big and everything, and they've got dinosaurs all over the shop. I read that in that museum, they've got something like 7 million bits of stuff in there. Right? Now, when I spend 2 hours in somewhere, just show me the good stuff. Don't be saying we've got 7 million bits. Because there was a fella who opened it, right? I did a bit of research on the museum. Fella who opened the museum up.
What was his name?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter, does it?
What museum was it?
It was the London one.
Oh, the London one, yeah. Okay.
So he's in there and he's collecting all this, bits of stuff.
What stuff?
Just whatever's knocking about at that time.
Right, okay.
It seemed like
you have researched it.
He never chucked anything away. He's like, I won't put it in the bin. Pop it on a shelf.
Okay,
right? So
yeah.
he's put everything on a shelf in this museum. Then as time
I think you're going into too much detail, but just give us the gist of it.
No, but all I'm saying is, he keeps everything, and if you keep everything, sometimes it'll be good stuff, right? And a lot of the stuff was going missing, the good stuff. But people who set these museums up are just as crafty.
What?
The fella who found Tutankhamun, he was pocketing all sorts of fingers and stuff in his pockets on the way out. That had rings on them and stuff. So all I'm saying is, why is she having a go?
But
She's
hang on,
learned
wait,
something.
what's that got to do with someone pocket? I don't understand your point.
Because she's sort of moaning at me, going, "Don't have a go at the museum and the dinosaurs." But
No,
she's having a go at your fatuous point.
Yeah, your absolutely uneducated,
But,
stupid
I mean,
point that you got TV time to talk absolute shit. If I could
That's not
paraphrase
my fault,
Wendy.
is it? That's not my fault. If someone says they want me to do a little programme and you can do what I want, I went and did what I did. Free speech, innit?
But we just gave you the chance then to defend yourself, and you just confirmed Wendy's point 1,000 times over. What was all this waffle about people nicking stuff? What's that got to do with anything?
Because she's having a go at me. I didn't nick
But
anything.
she's having a go at you for talking nonsense that's of no consequence, which is what you just did then.
Talk nonsense.
But what was your point?
Oh, all right, then we'll watch Wendy's little programme when that goes out. Let's see what she's got to talk about. Sick of her.
Scene.
Carl, any more? Oh, tell that story that you were telling me about your dad when he was driving.
Well, it's just that you were talking about. Well, I mentioned Forrest Gump
Yeah.
and the Forrest Gump types. When my dad was when he was a taxi driver,
Yeah.
you used to have to sort of do your bit for the local area
Oh, God.
by taking the
Yeah.
Forrest Gump
yeah.
people to Blackpool.
Yeah.
Is that what they're called now, the Forrest Gump people? Is that what the organisations that support them ask for them to be referred to?
A minibus with
Exactly.
life is a box of chocolates.
exactly.
.com.
Well,
Forrest Gump types.
It must have been, so you work with these people.
It was yeah.
Yeah, the people with learning difficulties.
Difficulties, yeah. And they used to get five.
Coming home must have been a busman's holiday.
So he got 5 of them in the cab.
Yeah.
And he had to go to Blackpool, and 4 of them were really good, you know, behaving themselves, didn't mess about, weren't fighting and stuff, but there was one who was just causing loads of trouble and they couldn't control him.
God.
And what you've got to be able to do with people like that, you don't want them to get stressed out because it's not good for them. It stresses them out, and you could end up with a bit
Thanks, Dr. Carl.
you could end up with a bit of a riot on your hands. So he thought, I'll nip this one in the bud right now. And he pulled up just on the outskirts of Blackpool, and he took the one out that was causing problems and put it in a wheelie bin.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologise.
He did what?
Oh,
He did it for the good of the others. He put it in a wheelie bin. It was having a good time. He thought it was one of the rides.
Can you stop saying it?
Him.
Yeah.
He was having a good time, and once he calmed down, my dad went back and picked him up, and he was fine. He had a good
What,
time.
he left him in there the whole time the others were in Blackpool?
No, he left him there, not the whole day, probably about an hour and a half
In a wheelie bin?
in a wheelie bin.
Why couldn't he get out?
Because, like, his arms were trapped on the thing. One of those one.
What, he tied him up?
No, do you know, like, because he was a big fella, and, like, he managed to get him in so his arms were down the side like that, so he was a bit trapped.
Wasn't he screaming and crying and stuff?
He was making a bit of noise, but do you know what I mean?
What, you feel served him right?
Well, but anyway, I didn't really want to talk about it. He just brought it up because of Forrest Gump.
Did his family know about this? Is this the first time they'd have heard about this?
He didn't get asked to do it again. Because he had another problem similar to it where he had a little minibus, and it was his job to take a load of old women to the bingo hall, and it was miles away, and he took him there. There was no problem. About 10 old women in a minibus.
One of them was causing trouble. So he pulled over it.
No, right, so he took him there, everything's fine, he dropped him off, they had a lovely night, right, they had a lovely night, won a bit of cash, coming back, it's a bit of a late night, and they all started moaning at him, going, I want to be dropped off here, take me there, I want to be dropped off first, I've got to get up early, blah blah, you know, my husband's expecting me, I'm already late, take me here first, take me there, and he just pulled up, in the middle of nowhere, said, get out. And he made them get out, and they all called for taxis. They charged that company who was meant to be taking him home in the minibus, and he got the sack. But a similar sort of story. You can't be dealing with it when people don't sort of just calm down and, like, solve the situation.
Yeah.
They're just all like, I want to be dropped off first, take me here first, take me...
Yeah, so he acts like a madman. To counter that. Good.
Oh, that's
All right,
great.
we've got a crack on, haven't we, really? We've got...
Says so much. Yeah.
Yes, Nick Drake, a song for the ladies this week from the album Brighter Later, At the Time of a City Clock. That's
Goodbye.
it. Yeah,
Goodbye.
see you next time.
Bye.
Don and Blitzen from the About a Boy soundtrack by Badly Drawn Boy.
Christmas theme there. Christmas theme there.
You've spotted the Christmas theme.
Yeah. Carl's not really in festive mood, but
I can't imagine Christmas is your time of year, is it, Carl? Well, I'm not sure any time of the year is, really.
I liked it when I was about... I think when I was about 7 I enjoyed it.
was that the one? Was that the year, the big year for you?
You get loads of stuff, you don't have to worry about anyone else, but once you've, like, got a job...
What did you get when you... When were you doing your paper round? How old were you then?
I was about 13, 14.
Well, that was then you were a man, weren't you?
I had to buy stuff.
Oh.
But you're still not
You're
having
quite
a good
selfish,
time.
man, aren't you? I didn't realise this.
No, it's just that Christmas...
And that's coming from him, Carl.
My dad always said...
Oh, right, steady on.
Dad said Christmas morning was for, like, you know, for me, so he used to stay in bed. So he never...
That's brilliant. That's a great thing to say, isn't it? Yeah. Christmas morning's for you. Run wild. Do what you want. Just don't bother me.
I'm going to Honolulu for 2 weeks.
That's great. Dad, it's Christmas. Do I have to do anything? No.
So my mum used to get up, because she used to like to see my face light up, you know, when I open my presents. And then,
to give fireworks.
And then I'd have to go to my bedroom from about 6 o'clock onwards, because, like, my mum and dad were into having big Christmas parties, and I wasn't, like, old enough to go.
Right.
So they'd say, right, you know, you've had your fun there, you go up to your bedroom, stay in there.
Really?
Yeah, I remember one year, right, I got a train set, that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
Right? It's brilliant. Playing with it all day. I thought, I don't mind about the party, I'm happy staying up here, playing with this. Brother comes in, he's had a few, right, he's going, yeah, give us a go on your train.
How old is he?
He's a bit older than me, so he might have been like, let's see.
Well, let him be 18.
Yeah, probably about 18, 19,
And how old
something
were
like that. I had a train set, so, I don't know, about...
14.
something like that.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm playing on that, loving it and stuff, and then he comes in and goes, oh, give us a go. He turns the transformer up to, like, 14. He went really fast for about 5 seconds, broke it, and then he went back downstairs.
Wow.
So Christmas, I hadn't even got to
Sounds
Christmas
like
Day.
the Conservative government with British Rail.
Satire, that is.
Rick, I just
well-
thought that there's satire.
It's
If there's any satirical shows listening or
it
magazines,
doesn't work in any way, because there's the analogy falls down,
No.
apart from there being a train.
think it through though. British Rail was trains,
Yeah.
and the government broke the trains in many. Well, they didn't break them, like not officially breaking them, but they kind of.
It does work, it's perfect.
Oh, I'm very pleased with that.
And I can't, and no one's asked him to be on Have I Got News For You?
It's weird, isn't it?
'Cause
it is strange that when you've got a satirical mind that's as quick as that.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
he's broke your little train set, so what did you do?
I just, like, watched telly and had some sausages.
I bet you were happy with that though, weren't you?
It's a bit annoying though, isn't it, when your main present of the year has been broke.
And
then,
did it ever get it fixed?
No, that was it. Put away.
I'm intrigued why your parents wouldn't let you come and join in the festive fun. Was it like really debauched down there? Was it like eggnog everywhere? And
Well, no, but I mean, that's fair enough. 6 is a little bit early, but I just think, you know, if you're your kid, you know, he had his fun, put him to bed at 8 maybe. And
Do
he
you think
won't.
so on Christmas Day? I thought that was a day for family.
Well, not if there's a party going on.
And
Well,
then
don't have the party on the Christmas Day. Is
Well,
my point.
that's another option.
Yeah. Your parents are weird, aren't they? A strange breed. Teenage Fan Club from the XFM Christmas album, and that's Christmas Eve.
Their guitar sounds are just brilliant. They're just always so nice. All right, Carl, do you like that? Do you like Teenage Fan Club?
yeah, they're good. They're
good.
Carl, I feel like you've never kind of enjoyed the wonder of Christmas. I can't ever get the sense, maybe except when you were very, very young, you know, that kind of bright-eyed, you know, thinking of Santa, you know, kind of, landing on the roof and coming down the chimney and drinking the sherry or whatever.
So I like the idea of it, right?
Sure.
The sort of, you know, I used to get a couple of annuals every year, you know. Like,
Yeah, so did I, yeah.
and I was allowed to open one on Christmas Eve.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Just, yeah, so...
So they could throw it on the fire.
I think we,
It is sort of
Have
like
a quick skim through, do the work, search right.
Yeah. I think so that's to light a cigar off the cooker. Oh, has any monkey news this week?
it's been a problem.
Why?
It's not much has been going on this week.
What, in the monkey world?
In the monkey world. I don't know if they've caught on to the fact that they're getting coverage.
They're keeping their behaviour hush-hush.
Being a bit careful, but I found something.
Mott the Hoople, Roll Away the Stone. Classic little ditty on XFM 104.9. Alright?
Play the jingle.
Oh, is it? Brilliant.
Oh, chimpanzee that monkey news extra.
Well,
Is there monkey news?
I tell you what, I've been having a bit of a problem this week.
Why?
It's just been a struggle. Normally, I can come into work on a Monday and there'll be something that's happened over the Saturday, over the Sunday night. Do you know what I mean? Over the weekend, the monkeys have done something. Been very quiet. I thought I'll be alright. Let's see how the week goes on. I don't know if they've caught on to the fact that we're giving this coverage now, or I don't understand. Normally people are emailing me stuff all the time about monkeys. Been very quiet week. Been checking. I was looking in books last night and stuff.
Is there any monkey news?
I've got some, but just because it's not that good. Something else I found out that I thought I'd share with you.
Go on.
I was looking in the Guinness Book of Records, right? Because I thought they'll have something in there about monkeys or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a little monkey. I think it lives in Asia, right? There's loads of them live in Asia.
Might just be travelling, but yeah.
And something I found out. I don't know if they've got it right, and that's why I want to bring it up. Apparently, it's the mammal, right? That's got sort of the pointiest eyes that pop out of their head. Steve. Now, the thing is, right? I thought that's interesting.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's the biggest with the sort of goggle eye type thing.
Right, yeah, go on.
Apparently, they come out of their head 1.6 centimetres.
1.6 centimetres? What do you mean, they protrude?
Yeah, they protrude from the head at 1.6.
Okay.
What? How long?
Have you got a ruler, Rick? 1.6.
He's having a go.
I'd say I'd be a little bit annoyed if the monkeys beat me.
Well, I don't think it has.
That's what I'm hoping.
Is there anything we can... I mean, what's 1.6? Oh, can you...
It's about...
Drop your trousers.
It's, about 3/4 of an inch.
What do you think?
I don't know.
Have they got it right, or what?
Maybe I should come down to Monkey World with you next week.
So anyway, so that's not the monkey news, that's just something that cropped up, and...
Sure.
I do know once, when we were playing pool in the office, I think Lucy was your partner.
Yeah.
It was me and Ash versus you and Lucy, and you were having trouble because his glasses kept slipping down. So Lucy pushed his glasses up his nose, but the glasses touched his eye. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
He started it.
Well, you're the one who joined in.
No, I know, and I feel bad now.
Yeah.
He makes me nervous when he goes, yeah. It's like, play a record.
No, I'm just trying to think about which part of your fat, middle-aged physique I can pick on.
The tits would be a good
Yeah,
start.
yeah.
Oh, the belly.
Sure.
Oh, what do you think of that?
Oh, that's... What is that?
Play a record.
Is that monkey news for this week?
Have we not got
What's
any
that? Is
other
that the
monkey
monkey
news?
news?
Well, it's just, it hasn't been that good. I mean, the one that I found out here, because we've covered so much in the monkey world, right? The fact that we've done a monkey that was a sort of half man, we've done a monkey that got a decent job in a train station. Can you think of any of the other?
Well, that's just some of the great monkey news from the past.
That's what I mean. So that's what you got to compete with. So even though this is quite amazing,
Just tell us.
another monkey's got married.
Oh, not another monkey getting married.
What do you mean?
It's got another one. You know, it was knocking about with some woman monkey for a bit.
A woman monkey.
They decided to, you know, get married.
Yeah.
They did.
What do you mean they decided to get married?
Was it pressure from her parents?
They had a good do, and
Good do. I love the spread. I love that.
Just-
Peanut vol-au-vents.
Yeah.
celebrated in a pub, and then they both went off to the cage that night. That's what I mean. Even though that is quite impressive,
It's
because
not true. Or it's a joke. It's nothing. It's not.
Ananova website, official sort of news website.
2 monkeys have married in Romania. after a whirlwind romance. Well, that's
After a whirlwind romance.
God, yeah, a quick one hanging onto the rope. Yeah. She was in the tyre.
Yeah.
He saw it.
Yeah.
He went, "I'll have a go at that." They go, "We got to marry her now."
Yeah.
Her parents came in and said, Did you just shag my
He was in
daughter
a zoo
tyre?"
knocking one off. She went, "I can do that for you."
Yeah, yeah. Guess say the monkey bridegroom was scared by the number of people attending the wedding and refused to get out of his cage. But his bride was
Not bloody Hello Magazine again.
No, it wasn't. No, I think it was like last minute nerves.
Right,
like
right,
you know,
legit, yeah,
I'm single
second
now.
thoughts.
It's like it's the big step.
Yeah.
But his bride enjoyed every minute of it. She was loving it.
Yeah,
she
sure,
looked lovely, by the
sure.
way. She looked lovely.
Yeah.
The
Did she? Oh,
newspaper
good.
reports she only appeared to have problems with her veil and dress. Do you see? This is. The guests
I hope they didn't ruin it
like.
like Anthea Turner and maybe get sort of sponsorship PG tips or something.
Totally, with strong plum brandy, so they got them drunk as well. So they carried on the celebrations at the pub, and the bride was taken to her new husband's cage at night. I apologise. Play a record.
I'll tell you what winds me up.
What?
Monkeys getting married.
I know.
And I'm not getting any action. And I got bigger eyes. Can I just make a request? So I'd quite like, if we've got time, to bring back, just for 1 week only, White Van Karl.
Sure.
Because there's some quite interesting topics this week.
Oh, is there things happening in the world?
There's
Because
some
Carl
things
doesn't think
happening.
there is.
No.
There is a light that never goes out.
Well, talking of which, it's a long time since we've had any White Van Karl. For those that don't remember this particular hot feature,
Yeah.
we basically ask Karl some of the questions that are asked of a white van driver in the Sun. They always have this on Saturday afternoons. Anyway, here's the first one. And they're not fascinating, Karl, but I'm just interested on your take, really.
Yeah.
What do you make of Cilla Black quitting Blind Date after her husband sent a message from beyond the grave? You familiar with
I
this
didn't
story?
know that. What's that?
She went to see a medium, and supposedly her husband passed on information through the medium, which was incredibly vague, but persuaded her to quit live on air.
Well, it's about time, isn't it? If even dead people are saying enough's enough. But I'll tell you what, though,
Genius.
talking about ghosts and that, do you know how I'm into them?
Yeah.
Right? How weird do you think this is, right?
Well, it's not true. Before you say it, play a record.
No, go on.
Go on.
Right, it's this woman. I don't even know if it's ghost, really. It's just a bit weird.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure.
There's this woman,
Yeah.
and she's not a woman, she's a kid.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
She's walking down, like, a street in her area. It's a nice day and everything. Everything's normal. She's walking down, and a woman comes up, cycling past, right? The woman on the bike looks at the kid, absolutely terrified, right? Got a really scary face on her.
Yeah.
The kid's thinking, why is she doing that?
Yeah.
Right? So anyway, she thinks nothing of it, goes, I think she was playing in the park or whatever, goes and has a nice day. About 15 years later,
Oh, right, yeah.
she's, I don't know, I think she was going to work, right, on a bike,
She was riding her own bike.
riding
Okay.
her own bike, cycling down the road,
Oh, yeah.
looks at the kid. That's the thing that happened, like, 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
It's her on the bike looking at her as a kid.
Right.
What do you
Not another child.
No. So
Right.
it's her, she's seen
Well,
herself.
Carl? I mean, I don't know where to start.
Firstly, where's this information come from?
But I mean, why do you ever? I mean, I don't know what part of that you think can be true. I don't. I'm honest. I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. What are you talking about?
Bit weird, though, isn't it?
But it's not true.
It didn't happen. Nothing happened like that.
She said it did.
Well,
Who?
she's
Who?
wrong.
She said she saw herself.
She saw herself as a kid, didn't she?
Did she carry on riding
And as an
past?
adult when she was a kid.
Did she stop and talk to herself, or did she ride on by and think that's a bit weird? There's me as an 8-year-old. I won't stop. I'll be late for work.
yeah. If I'm late again, the boss said he'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, if,
And where is this information? Did it happen to someone you know?
No,
You overheard it on the bus.
no, it was in the 14 Times.
Ah, right. Well,
Ah, okay.
that's the answer.
Good,
We've
okay.
got to the bottom of that.
right, good, brilliant.
Now, what do you make of David Blunkett accusing gangster rappers of making kids believe guns are cool? It's a hot topic there, Carl, and I imagine you've got some strong opinions.
He's saying what?
He is saying, basically, that all this rap music is advocating gun use and violence against people, and he's very worried about it.
Nah.
Okay.
All right.
What's the next one?
Have you thought about going into politics? Because I'll tell you this, they wouldn't be able to argue with you, really, in the Houses of Parliament. They'd have where would they start?
Yeah. My fellow is an idiot.
No, but violence has always been about, hasn't it? Like cowboys and Indians, they didn't have PlayStations and Tupac then, and there was still violence.
What do you mean? In the Wild West?
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So you can't really blame it on stuff. It'll always happen. That's, you know, that's the world, and it's made up of different types and that.
Again, he's right. Again, he's sort of right in a way, in his innocence, in his buffoonery.
I didn't hear what he said.
He just said there's always been violence. You know what I mean? It's sort
Even,
of like,
you know, dinosaurs, look at them. They caused a lot
and
of
then he
trouble.
went too far and made himself sound
No,
like a
but,
fool again.
but I'm just saying, it's always happened, it always will.
Yeah.
Don't try and change it.
Yeah, just chill out is what you're saying.
Do you know what we should do? We should all get on our bike, go and find ourselves when we're little and go, be careful what you do in life.
Well, if you, I mean, you've heard now the way that Karl's mind thinks. You've heard over the last hour and 25 minutes. We've got these Coldplay collectibles and stuff to give away. If you have a question for Karl, okay, you've seen the way he thinks.
Brilliant.
A question that you want to ask him, you want to get his opinion on something. You might want to get his opinion on the supernatural, on you know,
civil rights,
anything you want. Just get his mind work because he loves to learn. He loves to be educated. He loves to ask questions. So we've got some questions for Karl.
These are amazing questions. Okay.
And just give your immediate response to them, Karl. Not too much thinking time. Yeah,
okay.
right.
What would happen if insects were bigger than us?
Who's that from?
Vicky of Milton Keynes, maybe. I don't. It ran out, so I don't think there is a place called Milto. It's from Vicky. Karl? What would happen if insects were bigger than us? She's going into the possible winner file there.
Would David Attenborough still like his job? Do you know what I mean? Would he start worrying? Because I've got that point, just because, you know, insects and that, he's always messing about with them, but would he be that keen to, like, 8 foot? Is what I mean.
If they look like me. Sure.
Brilliant. Okay.
Yeah.
Look, this is a nice one. This is, from, Jason. Can Karl do something to prove you are on live and not recorded? I'm sure that will tax his little bald head to bursting point.
What's his name?
Jason.
How can you prove that we're live on air?
Come on, how could you prove that we're live on air?
Happy Christmas Eve, Jason.
No, we could have recorded this a week ago.
Yeah, but then it wouldn't be Christmas Eve.
No, but...
Happy Christmas Eve, isn't it?
No, but we'd have recorded
Karl,
it and...
think!
Alright, it's nearly 11:45.
Yeah, but we could have started with the clock knowing that we were going to record it as live. We could have done this last Wednesday.
Alright, it's Radio 2, it's a nice day out there, sun's out.
Well, that's a guess. And do you think... Oh, it is sunny. Yeah, it is sunny,
but,
yeah.
Generally
but hold on, wait a minute. We're in London. Someone listening in Manchester, it might be raining.
It probably is raining.
Look, he can't work out how to make sure it's live. Look at him looking up in the sky. Look at him. His head is going to burst. There's a little bit of blood coming from his ear. How can we prove we're live?
My mum's budgie died last night.
But
Don't laugh about it. Don't laugh.
Only your mum that can confirm that.
Yeah. No one knows whether your budgie died or not. Was he pictured holding a copy of today's paper? What are you talking about, Karl?
I can't prove anything then.
You're so right.
Next question.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh God, Karl. Where would you go if you had a time machine? That's Bob from Manchester.
Where would I go? I can go to any time.
Yeah.
And now once I get there...
Oh,
yeah.
No, but I'm just saying, what am I doing? Am I staying in the little box and just looking out of a window? Or am I...
Let's assume you can wander around.
Okay, we'll do both. First of all, you're wandering round.
I'm just and I've typed in the year.
Oh,
And to be honest, I'm not that good at history, so I don't know what happened when. So I'd be better off just sort of letting someone else have a go and asking them when they get back, just saying.
Karl, where would you go? What do you fancy? Just think.
Would you like to see dinosaurs?
Would you like to see the Roman Empire? Would you like to see the 1960s? Would you like to go back and see your nan as a kid?
Shouldn't really mess with time though, should you?
No, you're not.
It's not actually going to happen. No one's actually invented one yet.
What period of history are you interested in?
Probably. I mean, I sort of like the 60s. But we still sort of, we don't really...
Next question. Unbelievable. Everyone's got an answer to that. Everyone wants to know where they can go back in time,
Well, where
except
would you go back in time to?
I'd go back to religious times. I'd go back to the birth of Jesus, see what was going on.
Really?
Yeah. See how the frankincense and myrrh went down.
There was this thing started. I saw it in the paper about 15 years ago. A guy put an advert in a local paper, I think it was in Sheffield, saying, I've been reincarnated. I was a cow at the birth of Jesus. Is anyone else out there that was reincarnated? It was the birth of Jesus. Fella got in touch, said I was a cow too, and they started a society called Cattle for Christ. Just the two of them. I don't know where they held their annual general meetings. I
wonder if that's still going.
I don't know. But imagine if you were at the birth of Christ and they're going, oh, do you remember? He goes, yeah, but I couldn't quite see. There was just a bit of wood in it. I didn't really see that. I remember the men, they were arguing over spending.
All I could see was your backside.
I know, yeah. So, think of that, Carl. Okay, final question. Right, okay. Carl, if you could, travel back in time to ancient Rome and take one modern invention with you to set yourself up as a god king, what would it be? What would you take back? That's from Amy. Sorry, Arvy in London.
Going back to Roman times.
Yeah, so what would you take back to make sure that you were king? Would it be a weapon? Would it be,
yeah, a weapon. It's pretty violent times, won't it? Yeah, I'll have a weapon if that's...
Well, what though?
Gun. Have a gun, take that.
And what would you do with it once you were there?
Well, I'd probably... I mean, I don't like killing animals and that, but they used to use tigers a lot, so shoot one of them in the head. No, because
there's no explanation why.
No explanation for it. I love him. Okay, look, we've got to give this. I think can Carl do something to prove you're live?
Yeah, you completely foxed him. There was nothing he could think of in his tiny little brain to prove that this is live.
So, I think little Jason wins the Coldplay collectibles and some other stuff. So, well done. He still can't prove it. He still can't prove it.
Play a tune, then we'll have some.
You could have just said. You could have just picked up today's paper and read the headline. Think!
Monkey news after this. Rick, listen, we often get a lot of email correspondence during the show, Rick, which I don't sort of pass on to you, because, I mean, you're busy, you're planning the show and stuff, you've got a lot of ideas, you've got music and stuff to worry about. So I check the emails, and we get a lot of response, a lot of people obviously, want to give us feedback. Just a sample one, from Richard Anderson. He's just emailed us in here, Rick, because he's been listening to the show. He says, Ricky, your show is appalling. Are you actually aware you're on the radio, or has someone just secretly stuck a microphone on you? That's from Richard Anderson. So that's typical of the kind of feedback, Rick, we're getting today. So,
is that good, is it?
So that's the kind of, high positive praise that we're getting. So,
I'm glad Anderson's listening, because I wanted him. I was gunning for him as a fan.
I was worried that
early on in our career, so I think he's hooked now, though.
But thanks, Anders, for getting in touch. Dick Anderson's been back in touch.
Excellent.
I think so. He's obviously
we've turned him round. Well, he loves it now.
He's been tuning in.
He loves it now.
He says, Ricky, thanks for a really forgettable 2 hours of radio. I think I'll spend the time next week counting my feet. That's from Richard Anderson. So we've turned him round.
Do you know where the phrase "counting my feet" comes from? Well, in the olden days, right, and I'm talking ages ago, when you really loved something, you used to, as a sign of respect, like, say, a radio show, you'd count your feet. And that's where that comes from, Carl.
I'll tell you, our #1 fan has emailed again, I'm pleased to announce.
Who?
Richard Anderson, Dickie Anderson, he was in touch last week.
He loves this show.
He's such a fan of the show, and this week he's emailed in, what actually is the point of your show? Is it to confuse, irritate, depress, or what? All of those things, Dickie. Thanks for noticing.
Oh, he loves this show.
He's such a fan. He's such a fan.
He's
because last week, you remember, Carl, he emailed in to say that he'd rather spend his time counting his feet than listen to this show. Presumably he's done that. Yeah. And he's decided to email in.
Wonder how many feet.
Incredible. Yeah.
No, but he loves this show.
Good, so, thanks, R.A. Thanks for listening.
See you later. What are you looking at?
Well, I was just looking at some of the emails, and if I can find it, I've got an absolute treat from you.
Go on.
Dickie Anderson.
Is he?
Anders, he's emailed in
Richard Anderson, our biggest fan.
Biggest fan. He said, Dear Ricky, sorry for not tuning in recently, only I've been busy watching a puddle evaporate. Glad to hear you haven't tinkered with the show's winning formula by trying to introduce any quality into it. That's from, Richard Anderson. So, good to have Dickie Anderson listening again.
Oh,
because he just keeps us on our toes, you know.
Yeah.
And, good work, Rich. Thanks for that.
I wonder what he looks like.
Dickie Anderson? Yeah. I bet he's a good-looking guy. For some reason, I've always imagined him as being slightly older, with maybe a beard.
Oh, no,
you know what I mean? Like
I think of him... I think of him as sort of cords and now and sweater.
Definitely chords.
I think he looks like, maybe the Proclaimers.
Yeah, but
Right.
again, with a beard or at least a moustache.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm seeing some kind of facial hair.
And he's sort of like, he's sort of, he likes the Cure and the Swiss Nut, but, he snarls at everything. He thinks everything's puerile.
Yeah.
I bet he prefers Radio 5.
Do you think Radio 5?
Yeah. 5, yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
4.
I bet he's a real music snob as well. I bet there's certain bands, it's like rubbish. The Blazing Squad, rubbish. All pop music, rubbish. Britney Spears, rubbish.
Is this defamation of character?
He slagged you off enough times, Rick, on the show. I don't know.
And I'm only saying it's my opinion, I
Exactly.
imagine, so,
Yeah, I mean,
you
we
know.
don't know. I mean, you know, you could be a lovely guy.
To be honest, I'm getting to like him.
What I like about Richard is he's willing to say what he thinks.
Well, it's more than that.
He's a bit like Eminem.
No, it's more than that. He actually hits on the truth too often
Yeah.
for my liking.
Yeah, well, that's-
I mean, this is a shoddy show with very, very little to offer. Is Anders listening? Is,
Well, I'll tell you,
Dickie
bizarrely,
Anderson?
I've got an email from Richard Anderson, Dickie Anderson.
Go on.
The Dick Machine, which...
The big dick.
The big dick, which, now this is interesting. I think we're wearing him down. Ricky, I think your show might be improving.
Go on.
That sense of despair and loneliness I normally feel when listening to your show doesn't seem so bad today.
He's
That's Richard
desensitised to it.
Anderson. Yeah, exactly.
Or he's given
We're
up.
wearing him down.
Or he's just given up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you listen to this long enough and your standards will drop.
But yeah, Dickie Anderson, he's a guy, I'll be honest with you, he's not a big fan of the show. But well, we're getting to winning round. He says, dear Ricky, the more disappointing your show becomes, the more I seem to look forward to it.
Ah.
Now I see your face plastered across London. Is your show some sort of curse put on me by an old gypsy woman I've annoyed? You know, good point, Dickie, but,
Dickers.
but Randers, as I call it.
Yeah.
I
He can't listen now, I know what he's doing.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
tucked him in, he's backing into the fire as we speak, and he wants to roast them until they spit. Oh dear.
Oh.
Thanks for listening, Anders.
Thanks for
It's-
and Merry Christmas to you and Happy New Year.
and as you know, you got a lot to look forward to, because our first hour is always the best.
That's exactly
So
right.
you're going to be loving it till 3, cockers. Oh dear.
Last message from Anders, I suspect,
Anders.
for the day. He says, I've just roasted my chestnuts over an open fire. It's a lot more enjoyable than listening to your show.
He's
Pretty snappy, is Anders.
Yeah,
You know, he keeps them coming, you know. It's a shame that, you know, that we sort of couldn't sort of maybe meet up with him and try and persuade him that, you know, he should come over to our side rather than, you know...
Come over to the side.
Exactly. to be on
Yeah,
our
come
side,
over to this side.
I think we've got him though, because
Do you think so?
Yeah, apparently they did this survey in America. People who loved Howard Stern listened to an average of like an hour and a half a week, and people who hated him listened 2.5 hours a week.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think he's probably more faithful a listener
yes.
than some of the people that quite like us.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
He's got to listen. I'm the same with some people. I've got to listen to things that I just think are awful. I can't. You know, it's compulsive viewing. So, you know, I don't care if people listen to us because they hate us or like
No,
us.
indeed, as long as I listen. Hey, I should just point out, because it's Christmas time, we've had an email from Dickie Anderson.
Oh,
Whee!
Dickers.
Yeah, RA is, well, he's, I suppose he's a long-time listener.
Yeah.
And he emails us most weeks. Ricky, if, as I suspect, I'm your only listener, I wouldn't bother with your show today, as I've got to attend some family Christmas nonsense at Auntie Marion's house. That's from Dickie Anderson, and he's good because considering he hates the show and everything we stand for, he does take the time to email every week.
That
We thank him
counts.
for
That counts to advertisers.
Yeah.
I think we've got a lot like him. Oasis, Supersonic, still good.
Still as good as ever.
Still good. On XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Carl Pilkington.
You'll be pleased, Rick.
Go on.
Ricky Anderson has emailed in.
Dickers!
Dickers Danderson.
Oh,
Yeah,
what are you
he's,
doing, Dindo?
He's probably our biggest fan.
Diddler, you little diddler!
Exactly. He has emailed in, as ever. Ricky, your show fascinates me. How do you maintain such levels of senseless drivel? That's from Randers, from Randy Anders. as I
Little
call him.
diddle dobbers!
Oh! So, thanks again, Dicky,
Dudley.
for that, yep.
Well done, he's, yeah, that's great. I
Nice
get a
stuff,
buzz. I was disappointed last week where he didn't, ask him why he's, didn't
He
email us
didn't
last.
respond last week. No, it's a shame.
Probably
that.
busy. I don't believe he had something better to do.
Well, I wouldn't have thought so.
I can't believe that of anyone.
No,
when
no, on
you've
a
got this
Saturday
sort of
afternoon.
level,
Exactly.
intense chat.
You mentioned earlier when we had our regular email from Dickie Anderson.
Yeah.
Randers, as I call him.
Dandy son.
Yeah. You mentioned it, because we didn't get anything from him last week. We didn't get anything from him last week. Anyway, he's obviously listening. Rich, because he's emailed in to explain his absence. Dear Ricky, sorry for not tuning in last week, only I was in HMV returning the 14 copies of The Office I got for Christmas. That's from Randers. So, he's explained himself.
Oh,
he's
dear.
excused himself.
Oh, Anders, we should get him on one day.
Yeah. Can I just say before we play a record that we've had an email from Dickie Anderson.
Dickers!
Richard Anderson.
Oh, Dickster, you Dicky Docky Dido, how are ya?
If you're a new listener, then you won't have come across Richard before, but
he loves the show.
He's our biggest fan.
He's a bit of a... and he loves the show. He tapes it and listens back to it 4 or 5 times.
But the great thing about him is he's not afraid to offer a bit of constructive criticism.
Oh, well, yeah, go on, what's he said? What's he said?
Well, all I'm going to say to you is he said, is it true that companies are now getting rid of hold music and are instead using your show to irritate their customers while they're waiting on the phone? I don't know. We'll look into that, Dickie, but thanks for that. Before we carry on with anything, I should just tell you, we're on the subject of emails. There's one emailer we're always looking forward to hearing from.
Dickers!
Richie Anderson!
You, Dicky Docky Do!
Richard Anderson, thanks for emailing.
He's my biggest fan.
He's
now.
one of the biggest
he
fans.
Absolutely loves me.
But not afraid to offer some constructive criticism.
Go on,
That's the
what's he
great
said?
thing about Dickie. And from Anders this week, he says, Ricky, I'm lazy, I talk nonsense, I'm badly organised, and I believe in ghosts. Can I have a job working on your show? Possibly, Anders. Maybe send in a CV. Or email a CV.
He's put a little bit of all of us in that, hasn't
Exactly.
he? Oh, I'll ask him if he's a goggle-eyed freak, Steve.
Alright, calm down.
Well, no, I didn't mean
there's
this.
no need to get insulted.
No, I didn't necessarily mean you,
no
did
need
I?
to get nasty. This is ludicrous, yeah. So, obviously, Richard Anderson, he's emailed in his thoughts. Dickie Anders, Randy Anders.
You. Dickster, Dickmeister General.
Dickmeister General. And he says there's something making... Have we got it clear? He says there's something making strange yelping noises in the thicket at the end of my garden. Shall I go and prod it to see if it's Carl? Let me just tell you what Dick has said. He said, Richard Anderson, he also said, P.S. the show's still rubbish without Carl. Yeah, fair enough.
Still rubbish without Carl. Now, is that a compliment? It's still rubbish without Carl, which suggests he thought it might be better without Carl.
No, I think he means it's equally rubbish.
Right. Brilliant.
Nothing changes.
Thanks, Dickers.
Yeah, he's
Good
nothing-
Dickmeister.
It's interesting. I mean, I don't think our number one fan, Dickie Anderson, Richard Anders, was on the panel. Although he here has emailed in. He's got a couple of thoughts as to maybe why we.
What is
didn't.
Dickers doing, man?
Dickers says, commiserations on not winning a Sony. I can't believe you didn't win, naturally. I mean, apart from your show's obvious lack of quality and effort, having a monkey for a producer, offering the biggest load of tat as competition prizes, saying hairy Chinese kid 48 times every show, Rockbusters, not bothering to turn up for weeks on end, only having 3 listeners, introducing the comedy characters Camp David, Harry Fook, which I think he spelt wrong there, Stephen Merchant. I'm not a character. Apart from insulting every race, religion and sexual orientation, bickering like schoolgirls,
We
and
haven't done
bringing
everyone
misery-
yet. We have not insulted everyone yet. There's loads to go.
Despite the fact you generally bring misery into the lives of anyone who listens, I thought you were surefire winners. Better luck next year.
Well,
I mean, a couple of constructive, criticisms there, but generally, I still can't nail it.
was he on the panel?
Well, I don't think so. Well, he's a fan, so...
Yeah. Well, no, he's clearly a fan. I mean,
Yeah.
he obviously loves the show. Because he's... I mean, he has hit the nail on the head.
And,
Cheeky freak?
The controversial cheeky freak of the week, where Carl finds a human being with some sort of congenital or imposed deformity, or So and we talk about that in a wry way. Do you think that's big and clever?
no, but that's just it. It's never about taking the mickey out of someone, right? It's to make you think.
I'll tell you what isn't big and clever.
How lucky you are
A
on
dwarf with learning difficulties.
Nice.
Yeah. Well,
We'll explain it to you. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, He Wants You.
Brilliant.
On XFM.
Yeah. So, Carl, off you go.
well, we're not going to do Freak of the Week here,
Okay.
right? Because we've done quite a bit of that in the last 20 minutes.
We've
right? So we'll
OD'd
move
on
that.
freaks, you think?
Yeah.
Sure.
We'll just shift it a little bit.
Okay.
And I don't, like I keep saying, don't want people to be thinking we're sort of taking the mick out of anyone,
No.
right? Because we're not about that. I feel like I can do a little bit of it because I work with you, Steve.
Yeah.
Right? Sure. it gives me that right.
It's like a care worker. Yeah, I understand.
Well, it's like that thing of you can't be homophobic because I've got a couple of gay mates and stuff.
Sure.
I think it sort of gives me that edge.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're not freakophobic because you work with Steve.
No, that's right. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
Well, by that token, I should be able to sort of slag off, the mentally ill,
What do you
or
mean?
at least mentally handicapped.
Now there's a term you don't hear very often. In 2003, there was the mentally
The mentally handicapped, isn't that what it was?
Oh, I don't know where to start.
But
I'd
mean,
like to apologise for the Lady Diana stuff, the term mentally handicapped, and any inadvertent racism that we may have stumbled
What's
over.
the actual term then? Is it retarded?
Right, are we
Well,
having Cheeky Freak of the Week?
Do you want to do it?
What
Yeah.
time have you got to shoot off?
Could do with shooting off sort of soonish,
Okay.
to be honest.
This is not radio. Have you ever heard that on a radio show? Chris Tarrant going, I can't shoot off right now. I couldn't get a later train.
I know! Why didn't you get a later train?
There isn't
There isn't
any.
a later train. So I couldn't get to Cornwall tonight if I had to. If I had to finish this show, I couldn't possibly get to Cornwall.
Rubbish. Of course there's a later train.
Oh, I've booked it now anyway.
Right, well that's
Right.
the point, isn't it? Yeah. You're not following
Right,
through.
whatever. I don't think the show's lost anything. I think we've still had the, Freak of the Week's coming up now.
Oh, cheeky freak of the week.
Right, well, we've had some interesting things we've been looking at. This week, it's about the strangest couple that ever got married.
And we've had 2 sets of chimps, so it's stranger than that. Oh, it's not Dale Winton and Nell McAndrew, is
It's
it?
not your parents, is it?
Well, we're going back again to about, I think this is about
Something like that.
1940.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Not important.
Strangest couple, a fella, right? He had skin of a lizard,
He had the skin of a lizard, okay.
and the woman who he
Which he
married,
used as a condom.
woman who he married,
Yeah.
airiest woman ever,
Right.
and that was their act. They used to tour the world, and they'd say, it's like, couple who've met, they're having a great life. Let's get them out on stage. Here they are. And they'd
What
pop
do you mean
out.
he had a skin of a lizard, first of all?
That's what it said. He had some sort of some illness.
So he was called Lizard Man, and you like that because it was good description.
I thought that's good.
I'm
Let
here,
me know.
I'm here. Hello, we've booked a table for 2. Who are you meeting? I'm meeting Lizard Man. Oh, he's over there.
Yeah.
You know he is, right?
Yeah.
I'm
Look
meeting
out.
the hairiest woman in the world. She's over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what did they do for their act?
Now, bear in mind that we had some Siamese twins last week, and their act was having a bath.
yeah.
So, I hope it's an improvement on that.
What did Lizard Man? He came out and ate some flies, did he?
I don't really know. I just think they stood there and that.
Yeah, when you read this and it goes the most interesting fact ever, Lizard Man, and you go, that's enough. That's
Yeah,
enough.
well,
I can
that-
extrapolate from
Yeah,
that.
but straight away I'm thinking, right, I wonder if they got the wedding photos. Right? And then, like it said that they had a kid.
Oh, what would that be like? Half
Exactly,
lizard, half.
exactly, that's
It'd be
what I
like
was
an
thinking.
ostrich, wouldn't it? It would sort of like.
That's what I was thinking.
What did you think it would come out like, the baby?
I didn't think what that looked like. I just was thinking, parents' evening. Do you know what I mean?
You wouldn't want them coming up to the school, would you?
So,
Well, that's the
little
problem.
Johnny, who starts off relatively normal, he's quite good at, he's good at nature,
Yeah.
isn't he? And his mum and dad come into the room and they'd be looking round, wouldn't they?
Well, it's always like that thing at school when, like, you find out your mate's mum and dad are really old.
Right,
Have you
sure.
ever seen that?
Yeah.
When you go, have your gran and granddad bought you?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
my mum and dad.
Yeah.
And you go, oh.
It is weird.
What's that we're talking about? He calls him mum. What was that? Oh, sorry.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
no,
like-
that's always strange.
I
But if you had Godzilla and King Kong as your parents,
Yeah.
and it was
they're
like you
always
say-
fighting.
they're always fighting, and like you say, if you're in a school play or something, you wouldn't tell them, would you? You wouldn't want them coming out with a video camera.
He didn't tell his parents he was in the. When we were,
Well, exactly.
You did Little Donkey. You didn't tell your dad, did you? And he came along and videoed it.
Yeah.
Was
kept
that-
it quiet, kept it quiet, don't want them to know anything.
But you didn't. What was it? It was meant to be playing. You had a little drum, didn't you?
Yeah, I was doing, I had a little drum. I think I was meant to be playing We Three Kings.
Yeah.
But he started doing little donking. I thought I can add a touch to this.
Sure, you improvise.
Started playing along.
It was like the
loved
first
yeah.
remix, wasn't it?
It went down well. But yeah, that's all I was thinking with the Freak of the Week this week. That's what I'm saying about Freak of the Week. It's to get people thinking, right? Thinking how lucky they are that they don't have to
Comb their face. What are you talking about? What do you mean? Freak of the Week is to let people know how lucky they are.
just.
What about the little freak you're talking about? What are they thinking? They're going, oh, he's talking about me. I'm a little hairy lizard man on a stick.
Pop in, give us a call. That's what I'd like to do on a TV programme. That's what I want to do. I want to go and, like, meet these people and say, right, let's just go shopping, we'll film what your normal day's like.
Yeah.
Let's pop out. Nip into Sainsbury's or whatever.
Yeah.
Buy a comb.
Park right up close to it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. So what you're saying is you just want to get a little message out there, which is that there's always someone worse off than you.
Well, there's proof of that in this room. You know what I mean?
Oh, Carl, when's your train?
In a minute, I'm gonna get going now. I'll see you later.
Thanks, Carl.
Brilliant. What are you playing? You gonna play a song?
Kirsten McCall.
Yeah.
I'll see you later.
Cheers.
Supergrass, late in the day on XFM 104.9. There's too much to get through here, Rick.
Go on.
There's too many things we've got to systematically
Am I
work
going to
through
eat my
this
words?
list. Well, before that, we get emails all the time. They're coming through all the way through the show, and I open them, and a lot of them, because everyone's contributing, it's brilliant, but we can't really absorb everything. There's too much coming through. So I tend to open them quickly. I have a look, see if there's anything we can sort of make sense of, and close them again. Sometimes Carl looks at the emails as I'm opening them. One opened just a minute ago. You saw his face?
His face, yeah, what was it?
His face was just stunned. He was just absolutely dumbfounded. It was
Yeah,
like he'd
what
just
is it?
seen something extraordinary, right?
And you closed it quickly.
I did close it quickly. I'll tell you why, right? Always got to bear in mind how Carl's mind works. All he saw was the name of the band that this email was promoting. So all Carl saw, and you can imagine how excited he was all he saw was Half Man, Half Biscuit. That's all he saw.
I've never seen anyone so excited! Oh, God!
It was actually just plugging the popular joke novelty band.
Haven't you heard of them, then?
No.
Imagine how excited he was.
That is fantastic. Half biscuit! Brilliant! Mr. Garibaldi! Oh, half man, half biscuit. That is genius. Oh, amazing.
I just saw it, and when you closed it again.
Yeah, but the thing is, if he hadn't have told you that, and he'd have erased it, next week you'd be saying, about what they've done, the scientists, they've cloned a man with a biscuit. He's got currants for eyes.
Never go swimming.
What?
Never go swimming.
Anyway, just to, I don't know what the... Blimey, here we go, we were laughing at Carl! Can we focus on one person at a time, Rick, please? Let's destroy him first.
Oh, God. Tell him what you said to me when that record was playing about the Jaffa Cakes. He bought some Jaffa Cakes, which was lovely. He went across the road and he handed out the Jaffa Cakes. And then I went, oh, thanks very much. And then what did you say?
I just remember learning at school, I'm not, like, making fun of the illness, because it's not funny, but, they cure cancer.
Jaffa Cakes cure cancer?
Not, like, fully.
Right. They just go some way to helping.
Yeah. Do you know, it'll sort of help. If you've got it, you can't say, right, get me a load of Jaffa Cakes.
Right.
But I think it sort of puts a bit of a stop to it if you haven't got it. Do you know what I mean? It's like having vitamin tablets.
Is this medically proven? Should we get Dr. Fox down here to confirm that?
I'm not sure.
I can't. I actually can't cope. You're just... Play a record. Play a record.
Can I just... If anyone has ever survived cancer thanks to Jaffa Cakes, please call in.
No, but I didn't say
He
that.
said, and then he went, it's the orange thing in it. And then he tried to read it. He said, I wonder if it's... And he tried to read out this scientific name.